start the July 27th Single Family Design Review Board full meeting. Can we start with a roll call, please?
Yes, here we go. Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Molehi.
Yes.
We have Board Member Graffiti.
Yes.
Board Member Richards.
Yes.
And Board Member Rolfe.
Yes.
And we have quorum. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move to the public comment. Any member of the public may address the board for up to 2 minutes on any subject within its jurisdiction that is not scheduled on the agenda for a public discussion.
Okay, here we go. We'll start with in-person public comment. Right now, I have not received any general comment, speaker slips. I did not receive any public correspondence for general comment. Upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands right now. So I'll return it back over to you, Vice Chair Molehi.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board meeting of July 13th, 2026. I have reviewed those, didn't have any comments. Let's open them to see if any other board members have anything.
I don't have any.
Please scroll down. Can we pause for a second here?
Yeah, that was mine. I'm fine with it.
Any comments? Okay.
Thanks.
Let's move forward, please. If there's no other comments, I can make a motion.
Oh,
Oh.
and
Okay.
yeah, so I did want to mention, it was a little bit before announcements here, but we recently got new clarification and direction for handling approval of general business. So previously, we requested members of the public if they wanted to comment on approval of the full board minutes or approval of the consent minutes or for the ratification motion for consent minutes, day of for consent hearings, that we previously requested members of the public to use the general public comments, so general business item A. But we've been instructed to now be opening and closing public comment for each of the action items under general business. So what this means is that prior to making a motion for approval of the full board minutes, we do have to formally open public comment, allow public comment, and then close, and then make the motion. So with that clarification, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Vice Chair Molehi to open general business item B for public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's open public comment, please.
Okay, here we go. In-person public comment, I have not received any speaker slips for our minutes from the 13th. I do not have any public correspondence for the minutes for the 13th. And on virtual comment, I do not see any raised hands for the full board on July 13th. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the July 13th full board Single Family Design Review Board. Anybody second?
I'll second that motion.
And then I have a question regarding one of these, for number 1, 3029 Seacliff. Like, one of the items was to study decreasing the FAR. So does that mean the staff hearing officer, like, is that enforceable at all? Or it's just like a suggestion?
Yeah,
Just curious.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, great question. So when the board uses the word study, it is not necessarily a requirement. So when we see the word study, it's a recommendation towards the applicant to study decreasing the square footage. So in this case,
Yeah.
if it can be done, the board would prefer that, but it isn't going to be
Okay.
critical to making the project design approval
Okay.
findings. So if there are
Yeah.
specific items that you would like to see as requirements, it
Okay.
would be best to state that in the record,
state-
in the motions, and say
So
it
it would
is
have to be like a
required.
requirement. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
So do you have anything that you want to adjust for that
I
comment?
think
or-
I think I'm okay. I was kind of
Okay.
it was more like not necessary in my mind.
Do I need
Okay.
to do the motion
fine.
again, or we're good?
No, I think
We're
it's
good.
fine if
We're good.
no
Yeah.
amendments have been suggested.
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll move to, so the next item, item C, approve.
Yeah.
Roll call,
Yeah,
please.
thank you.
Yes.
Okay, here we go for our vote. Okay. Vice Chair Moslehi?
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
Board Member Richards?
Yes.
And Board Member Roll?
Yes.
And motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item C, approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board consent meeting of July 13th. I believe it's Board Member Rolfe. Do you
Yeah.
have any comments?
No comments. Thank
Do you
you.
want to make a motion?
Yes, I'd
Oh,
like to.
right
Yes.
before we do, if we could.
Open the public comment, please.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's going to let it be a little bit confusing. Okay. Thank you, Chair Mosley. And I believe I didn't receive any speaker slips for this July 13th consent. I didn't receive any public correspondence. And on checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to approve the Single Family Design Board consent minutes of July 13th, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay. Can we have the consent calendar
Here
of
we-
today?
One vote. Here we go. Vice Chair Moslehi?
Yes.
And Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
And Board Member Richards?
Yes.
And Board Member Roll?
Yes.
And the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the staff wants to read today's consent calendar action items, please?
Yes. So these items were posted on the full board agenda today. I'm just reading them for reference. Item A, 224 Loyola Drive was granted final approval with conditions. Item B, 871 Summit Road was granted final approval with comments. Item C at 50 St. Francis Drive was continued indefinitely with comments. And item D at 339 Loma Media Road was granted project design approval with conditions.
On public comment on these minutes for ratification, I'll start with in-person public comment. I did not receive any speaker slips. I have not received any public correspondence. And upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Vice Chair Moslehi.
Okay. Item E, any announcement, request by applicants for continuous withdrawals?
Yes. So Vice Chair Mosley, he will need a motion for ratification.
Yeah.
And then a vote on that, and then we can move on to
Okay.
E announcements. Thank you.
Okay. I'll make a motion to ratify the actions taken on the consent calendar of the July 27th.
I'll second that.
Hey, here we go. Vice Chair Moslehi?
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
And Board Member Richards?
Yes.
And Board Member Roll?
Yes.
And the motion passes. Thank you.
Okay. Item E, announcement request by applicants for continuous and withdrawals, future agenda items, and appeals.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to give a general announcement for the items on this agenda. Both items 1 and 2 scheduled for today are being reviewed under the new ordinance. The third item is in the coastal zone. So it is still under the new ordinance, but the Title 30 amendments don't apply to that last project. And with that, I'll hand it back over to you, Vice Chair Mosley, to take us into the first item on today's agenda. Thank you.
Okay, is it the right time for me to announce that I have to step down for the item A?
Yes, and here, let me hand you a recusal statement.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go ahead and I'll still have you read the item description just so we know that we're on this item. After you're done reading the project scope into the record, I'll have you read this recusal statement and then you'll go ahead and leave the hearing room and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you so much. So item item 1 is a new item, concept review, 251 La Marina. Proposal for a new 2,061 square foot two-story home with an attached 492 square foot garage and 332 square foot junior accessory dwelling unit with a 928 square foot basement. A driveway and landscaping is also proposed. The total proposed 2,553 square feet on a 6,098 square foot lot is 94% of the maximum required floor area ratio. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Neighborhood compatibility findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. So, to avoid any actual or perceived conflict of interest, Shanar Moslihi recused myself from reviewing this item.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess if one of these other board members wants to kind of take the role of vice chair, board member Graffiti, I
Okay.
think you're our most senior board member.
Happy to make it happen.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, well, since we already read the project description, if you could introduce yourself and then you have 15 minutes to present your project.
You should go.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did just want to make staff comment to introduce our project planner who's assigned to the case. So
Kenny Taylor.
Yes, thank you. So Mr. Taylor is here for any background or comments, and I just wanted to clarify that this project is here just for a conceptual review, so broad overall comments on the project. The project has not been deemed complete yet and is still under review. So the comments here today will be taken into consideration by the applicant as we move the project through its development review. So thank you.
Okay, great.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Laura Hudson Bernard. It's good to meet you all and see you all. I am here on behalf of the architectural team, which includes Shanar, who's worked very hard on this house, as well as Brian Cornell, who is currently stranded in Oregon with a broken down Tesla, not completely stranded, safely stranded. So you're stuck with me today, and I'm happy to be here sharing this project. It's a beautiful one that's had a lot of heart put into it. So here on behalf of the design team and also the project owners who are here. And I'll go ahead and get us started here. Okay. And forgive me for my cheat sheets here so I can get through these slides quickly. All right, this project is located at 251 La Marina, which here's a 3D aerial view of it. Existing on site is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-story home, and the property is surrounded by tall hedges on 3 sides. This site in La Marina is, I would say, middle or even higher up relative to shoreline. It does still have some lovely ocean views once you get up a little bit higher, which we'll talk about later. And this property actually has been owned by this family for the past 25 years. They did used to live here, and then as their family grew, they needed to find a little bit more space. I'll go ahead and take us to the existing site plan here. And zoom out. Okay, so here's a survey of the existing conditions. You've received letters of comment from both the neighbors on the northern and southern sides. This project has been, I think, more than a year in the making, actually. As I shared, this family has lived there. They have owned the property for 25 years. They lived there for more than a decade. They know this neighborhood. They know their neighbors. And they're very happy to be returning here to be building their long-term retirement and family house. And what you're going to see is a project with a lot of heart that has been thoughtfully designed by both the involved client team and, if I don't say so, some excellent designers. This home that they're proposing is modest. It's 2,500 square feet, roughly, with an attached garage. Let me go ahead and pull forward to the plans here. excuse me, this is the site plan. On the property, we have an attached two-car garage at the and the entryway to a foyer, which leads to a stair going upstairs and also downstairs to the basement. There is, as a part of the scope, an attached JADU, which is the third bedroom for the project. They're looking forward to using this both for aging in place of themselves and family members. Again, this is foreseen to be a long-term family home for this family. We also have a nice open concept kitchen, living dining area with good outdoor space. As you all know, the Mesa is beautiful and they're really trying to take advantage of that. The upstairs portion has 2 full bedrooms with an ensuite office space off the master bedroom, and then also an upstairs deck with some lovely ocean views that we're trying to capture. Understandably, I think that the presence of this deck is going to be a question that comes up, so I just want to discuss the work that's already gone into making sure that it's both compatible with the massing of this neighborhood and also in particular to the neighbor that it most proximally borders. I will go ahead and zoom in here for a moment. So you can see we've stepped the deck back here along the edge to create some more space, and I'll go to a section just to show that a little bit more clearly. Excuse me, wrong way. Back to the site sections, there we go. So this is the closer portion of the deck, and then we have stepped it back so it's further away. We've also provided a solid portion of deck for visual privacy up 32 inches, and then only the top 10 inches are an open railing. You did receive a letter of support from this neighbor. They appreciated the coordination that our clients have done with them, and this has been really worked through because we understand that these are smaller lots, and we wanted to be sensitive to our neighbors. The other thing I will note is for the neighbor on the northern side, 303 La Marina, we did also receive a letter of support from them, and the roof step back and slope is in compliance with, excuse me, there we go, with the solar ordinance at that northern property boundary. I think now that we're moving forward, I'm going to take us into the renders so we can look at what this is looking like. The design goal for this house was something timeless, like a rustic, contemporary vision. I understand that the design in this neighborhood can be a little bit eclectic, so we wanted to find something that would both work with the rest of the neighborhood and also stand alone as a beautiful piece of architecture, and we feel pretty proud of the final project here. The goal is to have something that is warm and inviting, and that the massing, as discussed, is sensitive to the neighborhood, and in particular to the 2 direct neighbors on either side. I'm going to take us back to the beginning to the FAR, just to go through that quickly, as I know that that might also be an item of discussion. So our property, and I'm going to zoom in on this map here because I think that's probably the most compelling part. So this is our property right here. With the fact that the JADU is not included in the FAR calculations, which is something that we've clarified with our planner. The FAR is 94%, which, let me zoom out here if you want to read all these tiny numbers, is within the top 5 FARs in the area. There are 4 other homes, one of which is directly behind ours, that actually exceed that FAR, so lot 254 here. If we scroll over, 254 is at 118% FAR. There are others at 101, 108, and also 96. So while I do understand that this is a higher FAR, we've taken great pains to ensure that the design is thoughtful and sensitive to both the adjacent neighbors while also still achieving the project's goals. And I realize at this point that I actually neglected to mention the basement, which I understand is not entirely the purview of this board, but I will just bring it up that there is a basement. It resulted more so just as the structure of the house became clear and we realized we could scavenge some storage space down there. The exact footprint of it is as of yet unknown. We're expecting it's going to be around 800 or 900 square feet, and I can show that in plan here. But it is projected only for a storage usage, so it's not any habitable space. So let me go back here. So this is the ground floor plan, and that's the basement. So you can see it's right under this portion here. The final thing I'd like to close with is looking at the streetscape, just so we can see this in concert with the rest of the neighboring buildings. This is the existing condition, and here it is proposed below. I will note that because our FAR exceeds, I think it's over 85%, correct? Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
94% to be exact.
Yes, because because we exceed the 85%, we are technically required to provide story poles, and we are formally requesting a waiver from that here. We are happy to provide whatever digital illustrations necessary, but we think that with the advent of technology, we can give you whatever renderings you need to make it clear the massing of this in actuality, rather than go through the hassle and cost of story poles. I think I'll go ahead and conclude my presentation there. I don't know if you wanted to add on.
So staff has analyzed this project in accordance to the new amendments as well as Title 28 in the coastal zone. So for the JADU, staff did a coastal inclusion exemption. So since the house is a demo rebuild, the JADUs within the existing building footprint, therefore does not trigger a coastal development permit. So we made that determination to streamline this project. The only other thing that could trigger a possibility to where it has to go to the show officer is the barbecue grill, if it's going to be either stationary or portable. That would trigger the administrative exemption that would be required as part of this entitlement. But as of right now, it's just the design review, and then we made the coastal exemption as part of the scope of this project as proposed.
If I may respond, the barbecue is not a permanent structure, so that would not be a trigger.
Got it.
Okay, with that, we will turn it over to public comment.
Okay, on this particular item, I did not receive any in-person public comment slips. I did receive public correspondence from Tom B. Collison and Lisa Maglione and Bill Raymond for this particular item. No other public comment was received. Upon checking Zoom, I do see one person with the raised hand, Brian Kernall. Mr. Cornell?
Hi there, this is Brian Kernell. I'm stranded, as Laura indicated, in Oregon. I really wanted to attend this meeting. We've been working on this project, Shinar and I, for since last year. And, you know, we as a firm don't do a lot of single-family homes, but we were really inspired by the client's goals and their desire to come back to this neighborhood after 25 years of buying it, and maybe most importantly, the opportunity to meet their needs, meet their goals, and also create something that's really appropriate for the neighborhood. So I appreciate your review and your comments, and we look forward to moving this along. And Laura, I thank you for pinch hitting for me.
Okay, and I don't have any other speakers at this time on Zoom. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will close public comment, and I can confirm that we received the written public comments. To start us off with questions, Board Member Richards.
Sure. I guess the first question is, as I'm looking at the front facade of this, what's driving the depth of the garage door bays? They look pretty exaggerated, especially in plan.
Are you referring to the wall thickness? That depth?
Yeah, the perceived wall thickness, yeah.
Yeah, we like to get a nice shadow line on those openings. We find that it gives a more of a gravitas to the facade if it's not too thin and shallow of an opening to the garage door.
Okay. And then I guess next question is, we're looking at this front facade. I would see the wood portion in that image in the upper right. Is there a reason that the head heights for the windows differ?
Yes, that's located at the stair.
That's located at the stair?
I believe the higher window is located at the stair, yes.
Could we look at that in plan?
Yes.
Maybe I'm not understanding it.
Oops. Forgive me, my apologies. Not
It's the
located at the
bathroom.
stair.
Okay.
Oh, it's at the primary bathroom. My
primary.
apologies.
So, if the JDU was included, what would the FAR number be for the project?
I believe that was one. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes. So if the JDU was not included,
The width.
If it was.
if it was included, that would be,
I think, actually, that might be on the cover sheet. Let me check and see.
Yeah, through the board member to the applicant, I believe there are two FARs on the title sheet, and then there's also below, you'll see in blue, you'll see 85%, like 90%, 100% in square footages, so that can be used as an estimation, but I believe you made two separate FAR calculations, one without the JDU, and I think that's the one up above.
106.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that's all my questions that I have.
Okay, thanks. Board Member Rolfe.
Yeah. I was wondering if you looked into any other locations for, I forgot the function, for the second story. Is it an office above the JDU? Did you look at another placement on the second floor for it?
Certainly, yeah. So the location of the office is helpful as it protects the privacy of this deck from the street frontage.
Yeah.
And so while, I mean, a myriad of potential floor plans are viable,
Yeah.
this enabled us to maximize the outdoor living space while also providing views to this office and maximizing the views from the master bedrooms as well.
Okay, thanks. And then, did you look at ways of reducing the square footage? Or I guess another way of asking is, what drove like the square footage to what it is?
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is a fairly modest-sized
Yeah.
house, and at
Yeah.
a certain point, especially when you're looking at a larger family who also have their parents living with them, you just need a
Yeah.
certain amount of space to live
Yeah.
in. I recognize that
Yeah.
that's not a satisfactory answer, but I mean, as you can see from these floor plans, none of the spaces are particularly oversized when you're considering the size of family that might be living there.
Yeah. Yeah, or actually, this is a question for planning. Is it the 85% threshold that's like up to a lot that's 6,000 square feet? So they're just like a little bit over that requirement, right?
correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, their lot size is
Yeah.
just above 6,000 square feet.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you speak to me about the height? What are the heights of the ridge lines, max heights?
Certainly. So the whoops. Let me zoom in here. The maximum height for this property is 30 feet, and we are at 25 feet overall, which you can see is that dashed line across there. We still wanted generous floor-to-floor heights just so that we could get some larger scale openings, but we don't even approach the maximum height of 30 feet just because it would have seemed a little excessive in scale for this neighborhood and for this style of architecture.
And then do you have the height of the JADU portion on the left? I know that's not the max ridgeline. I'm just trying to get an idea in comparison.
Yeah, the JADU would be around a 10-foot height, just looking at this elevation marker
Okay, so
right
I'm
there.
sorry. I mean the office space. I
Oh, the
believe, above.
office?
Yeah, in that.
That is a good question. I'm going to just visually estimate that as about 2 feet below. Let me see if that's shown in one of the adjacent elevations, though. Up 1 foot, 24 feet at the office space here.
Okay, and then did you guys look at any other ridge lines or roof arrangement possibilities for that element of the house just from the street side?
Oh, referring to this office
Yeah.
portion from the frontage. Yeah, we did look at a couple different options. At a certain point, because of the width of this building here, if you have a rake at this face, it gets a little bit wide and tall. And just the interplay between the two different sets of roofs as the office comes into the main building roof, it worked for us better to have this. We actually did a charrette in the office and studied this roof area in particular, and that was the best solution that we were able to find.
Okay, great. And then it looks like, how far back from the property line? It looks like it's above or beyond the 6-foot minimum, but just as my questions are probably going to start focusing on the deck. It looks like it's about 7 feet, just that
Oh, the
portion of
deck itself?
structure.
Yeah, so the deck is, and let
That-
me,
I know, I think that portion might be 7 feet and the other is 10 feet, or?
it's 8 feet and 10 feet, yeah.
Okay, and then it looked like in the floor plan, there were kind of 2 chairs there, and then what's the intended use of the longer portion of the balcony?
Yeah, so it's just living space. So we have the open stairwell down to the ground floor. I'm sorry, not open, but a stairwell down to the ground floor in this little foyer area up top. As you can see, we've got a writing desk here, reading nook, as you
Yeah.
were. So this programming is expected to be, afternoon sunset viewing. The view out to shoreline and the ocean is right down to this bottom right corner of the building, or of the page here. So that's the purpose of extending it further. The goal also is that the activity is primarily towards this edge of the deck, so it's further away from, I'll say, the neighbor in this portion. But yeah, the goal was just to have ample outdoor living space. They've been on this property, I think I mentioned, they lived here for a decade or so. They know the weather and
Yeah.
the views. They want to enjoy them.
Okay, and then, let's see. I think that actually might be it for my questions for now. Are any like trees or landscaping impacted on the property? I know we're still at concept, but.
Yeah, so there is an existing orange tree, which is currently slated to remain. Otherwise, the majority of the landscaping will be new, with the exception of there's a tall existing hedge that rings the property, and that is slated to remain as well.
Okay, and do you know about how tall the hedge is?
It varies. I think it's around 8 feet, but I would have to check and see.
I can attest to that. So the hedge is over height, it's approximately around 12 to 14 feet. However, the property owner is willing to trim the hedge down to 8 feet. That's going to be allowed within that property. So,
With that, why don't we jump into comments? So Board Member Richards, do you want to kick us off with comments?
Yeah, sure. So my first comment is relating to that garage door and the depth of it. I understand the kind of drive behind wanting to get that shadow line. It's just, I think it looks like it's almost 1.5 feet deep, and it's the only opening that's recessed like that to try and get that depth. So it feels a little out of place to me with the rest of the house having, 2x6 walls and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
I guess my next comment is, with that JDU and then the office above, it is a big mass that's being pushed forward. I think that there's space to bring that back and kind of maybe make that a little bit more pulled away from the street. And by doing that, you might figure out a way to better resolve that roof. For me, that the roof connection is just kind of funky and hasn't been really well figured out yet. So I'd like to see some more studying of that. And then as we're looking at that elevation of the master or primary bedroom, those windows need to be at the same head height, just for consistency and wrapping around the house. And I guess also, going back to the junior ADU and office above, as part of your next submittal, I think it's going to be important to make sure you understand and have details for how that stone transfers to the plaster. I mean, I know we're in conceptual right now, but it looks like we're running those two materials in plane, and there should be a stepping or a different in thickness there, we should see.
Yeah.
And then I guess my last comment, and interested to hear from other board members, but I would like to see story poles, not so much for my benefit, but I think for the neighbors and having an understanding, because we are well over that maximum 100 number, that I I think it would be beneficial for them to understand the mass, bulk, and scale of the house through that, so.
And I'm pardon the interruption of the comments, but I did just want to clarify that this project with the scope with the FAR at 94%, I believe it was 94%.
Correct, 94.
94% is that it doesn't push us over to exceed 100% FAR because we can't count the junior accessory dwelling unit towards our FAR calculations. With our guidelines in SFDB, once a project hits over 100% FAR, it does automatically require full level story poles unless they are waived. In this specific case, because the JADU is reducing the total FAR to below 100%, this project does not require full level story poles automatically. However, following Board Member Richard's comments, I did want to clarify that the board can still request those story poles at a specific level if they find that it's necessary to make the neighborhood compatibility findings. So you still have that option.
Okay.
But I did want to clarify, because I know at the beginning of staff comments that it was made that story poles are automatically required. That is not the case. So I just wanted to clarify that. I did just check with my with my supervisor on that call over Teams. So I just wanted to provide that clarification of what's in the board's purview. And I have more information on what level of story poles may be requested. You may request as the board full level story poles or a reduced one, but one is not technically required for this project. So just wanted to provide that clarification, and apologies for the confusion.
No, that's fine. For me, it's a little tricky because there's no way that you can build that office and bedroom without building the junior ADU. So it's kind of an essential part of the house, and that's why it's a little tricky in that, yes, we're under 94, but the visual impact is not as if it's a first story addition. It's an elevated addition that would then be cantilevering out if there was no junior ADU. So for me, it's a little tricky in that sort of sense. But.
You had a question.
I do, which is not my understanding from our application in this letter.
Right, that was implemented in that letter requiring the story poles, but under confirmation, it's not required.
And maybe it would just, my only interest would be for that front portion, just having a good understanding of what that would be, so.
So my comments. Yeah, I thought Board Richard's comment of studying bringing the JDU and the office back at least a couple of feet. I think that's a good idea. And then another thing I was thinking about to reduce the visual impact, I see like one tree, but maybe more taller, some more trees to screen it. I think that would be an easy way too. And okay. And then this is kind of minor, but what was it? Oh, I just was wondering if you could study the kind of, I noticed some of the window placements, there's not a ton of breathing room between the top of the window and the roof eave. And then like the entry door. I mean, this is just my opinion, but you might have a different opinion, but the entry door just dead ends at the second story overhang. And I'm wondering if maybe there should be some more breathing room of whatever material that is. Yeah, so that's just minor. Yeah, I think I'm overall I'm okay with, even though the square footage, including the JDU, is 106%. I think I'm okay with that. It's just really the massing of the office over it. So, yeah, thank you. Oh, and then for story poles, I'm not really going one way or the other. I don't think I think I'm okay not having story poles for that second story element. I could kind of see what's going on. So, thank you. Oh, sorry, and I meant to say that I think it is a really beautiful project. It's really thoughtful. I like how all the building forms come together and the materials. It's beautifully designed.
Great, thank you. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of really beautiful elements to the project. I like the materials, I like the palette. And I don't necessarily have any issues with the FAR. It sounds like it's 106. It'd be helpful to have like full confirmation of that for the next meeting. Okay. And even heights, below the 30 feet at 25, I think is respectable. I do agree with a lot of the comments that have been said. I think that there could be room to just study that top left element. I think it's the office above the JADU to figure out, could it be pulled in more or pushed back more, or could the roof line be adjusted? I think I could support the project as is, but I think it just may benefit aesthetically from the front view. I think all the other elevations around are actually really beautiful, the way the ridge lines hit and the heights and everything. But from the street view, just that top element, I think, could just be studied more. I don't feel the need to require story poles, but one thing I could say is we could see at the next, when they come back, if anything's adjusted, or if, we have another board member back at the next hearing,
Yeah, I
if we
agree.
felt like they were required, but I don't feel the need for them to be yet. Yeah, and then it sounds like we don't need to make comments about the barbecue because it's not. Okay, great. Yeah, otherwise, I appreciate that it's set beyond a 6-foot setback on the property line. I think from the hedges standpoint, I'm supportive of taller hedges. I think now even our code allows like up to 20 feet or something with an MZE. It sounds like all the hedge requirements recently changed, so I'm not fully up to date on all of those, but it may benefit having a deck that close to the property line, having a taller hedge. I think it's great that the applicants have already reached out to the neighbors and are engaging with them, especially having a deck closer than 15 feet. I think if the neighbors are generally in support of the project and, there isn't a big privacy concern, that I'd be able to support that, and just the way that it's designed. But yeah, I think that's all for my comments. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Okay, I'll try.
Great, go for it.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So the next is project design approval?
Yeah, so for making this motion, just because we're just here for conceptual comments, the motion would be to continue indefinitely with the following comments, and it would be continue back to the full board with
Okay.
that motion. And then you would just go item by item of those comments that you
Okay.
would like to pass on.
Okay. I'd like to continue this project indefinitely to the full board to study the thickness of the walls at the garage doors to make it consistent with the depths around other windows and doors, and to study the placement of the JDU and office so that it appears less bulky from the street, and also study the roof design over the office, and to study the placement of the windows so that they're consistent in their height locations, and to study breathing room around some of the windows and doors. And anything else? Here.
Did you have anything, Richards? I think that was it for my list.
I didn't have anything else, unless you want to make, I guess we don't need to make a comment about story poles, because
No,
it's not required.
we can address that in the future if we think we need them.
Can I say something that I appreciate the composition of the residence and the thoughtful placement of the roof to break up the mass and the bulk.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
I'll second that
Okay.
motion.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Rolfe.
Yes.
And the motion passes for continuance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And then,
Of course.
Yeah, Board Member Graffiti, if you want to start reading this into the record, I'll go ahead and grab Vice Chair Mosul here.
Okay.
And I think we have, let's see, I think we're at time. I think it's okay. Yeah, 15 minutes before 4. All right.
What time does the second item? Okay. Yep, we are.
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay, item number 2, 1035 Calle Malaga. This is a new item for concept review. This is a proposal to demolish 332 square feet of wood decks and stairs for a new 413 square foot first floor addition and 212 square foot second floor addition with a 90 square foot second floor deck. The project includes the conversion of the 2-car garage into a 455 square foot junior accessory dwelling unit, which is not in the board's purview. Replacement and addition of windows and doors to be completed with interior remodeling. New 6-foot tall wood fencing is proposed in the front yard with gates and requires a minor zoning exception to exceed the maximum 5-foot fence heights in front yards by 1 foot. A front setback modification is requested to accommodate the front patio roof extension, and an interior setback modification is requested to allow the addition of square footage within the interior setback. The total proposed 3,006 square feet on a 9,355 square foot lot is 85% of the maximum required floor area ratio. No final appealable action will take place at this hearing. Staff hearing officer requests comments for interior and front setback modifications. Neighborhood compatibility findings, hillside finding, and minor zoning exception findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Does staff have any comments?
Good afternoon, Aaron Stolberg, case planner. As mentioned, there is an interior setback modification required and a front setback modification, in addition to the comments to be made on the rest of the building. Staff is requesting comments specific to the bathroom and kitchen, which extend into the interior setback, and the front awning, which extends into the front setback. Thank you.
Okay. Please introduce yourself, and you have 15 minutes.
Oh, make sure the green light's on. There you go.
Okay. My name is Jonathan Villegas with Darkman Building Design Engineering, and actually my client's over here too, Peggy Polis as well. And yeah, we basically, we are trying to make some improvements both to the existing facade of the building. It had an addition, I believe, in the 60s of the second floor, and it didn't really mesh well with the existing house, and so we're trying to make everything a little bit more cohesive and have materials that are on the exterior that also work together well for this house. I would consider it probably a modern farmhouse type of look on it, with some elements of craftsman work as well. So, I go through the plans themselves here?
Yes. So yeah, you're in charge of presenting the plans and the scope.
Okay, great. So, yes. So the lot is kind of a strange shaped lot on here, and we're doing our best to fit everything that's on here without encroaching on any additional setbacks that are beyond what's already being encroached on. With the 30-foot setback that's on the front property, it kind of limited us on what we could do. The extension of the porch on the front was to, like I said, make it a little bit more congenious with the architecture. I'll show you the elevation of the existing. So when you look at the existing front and what we're proposing there is we're proposing a full covered porch area that gives it a little bit more welcoming environment to the house rather than having this kind of cut up boxy fill that's existing right there. We're going to be doing mostly board and bat and horizontal siding as well on it, and having black windows with white trim and then a dark gray roof, metal seam roof on there. The most of the roof, existing roof, is going to kind of remain the same orientation and definitely the same orientation, but basically the same height except for over the kitchen area where we're extending it in the back, and that's why we need to raise the gable end there, so that way we can have decent plate heights at the back of the house where the kitchen ends over there. So that's why that roof is a little bit taller on there. We also are proposing a small little deck area right outside of the master bedroom, and that's basically just to give some views, but also it doesn't encroach on any sort of privacy element of our adjacent neighbors that are there. Let's see here. Yeah, one of the main purposes is to, there are a couple that has, two kids, 2 boys, and so utilizing a better use of this space in here. So creating bedrooms with private baths, is nice to have, and then having some bonus rooms as well. But then having a large kitchen area that's very open and welcoming, so that way they could entertain, and also that goes out to the backyard where they have a pool, and also they want to have a junior ADU, so giving up some car space, so for any potential future renting or family that might want to visit it, we're utilizing the converting the existing 2-car garage to a junior ADU. Let's see. Here's some 3D renderings of the project, looking at it from various points of view. And the interiors. So that's basically my presentation.
Okay. Let's start the public comment, please.
Okay, for this particular item, I did not receive any speaker slips. I have not received any public correspondence, and upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now questions from the board. Board Member Richards, you want to start?
Yeah, sure, I'll start. So looking at, I guess, this front elevation, you have what looks like it's vents, attic vents from the front. Is that correct?
Yeah, those are actually just a kind of a facade that's there.
Because you're vaulting the ceiling behind.
Yeah, we're vaulting the ceiling behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, well, I guess while we're on this elevation, that upper right elevation, that strip of blue, I'm sure that's just a rendering thing, right? That's going to be all the same.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So probably the walls weren't brought down all the way.
Then the window trims that you're looking at providing, it looks like it has like a crown course header above each of the windows. Was there an inspiration that was driving that?
Well, just kind of more craftsman. I don't think we're dead set on any particular trim, but just trying it out and see what that looks like. That might be a little bit too much for this, and probably simplify it a little bit more. But
okay. And then, so the decision to do dark windows with a white trim and then a different color sort of body to the house, Was there an example of that house that you were kind of looking at, or?
Yeah, there are several houses like on Pinterest and house, that were kind of a modern farm style, with sort of green siding and, using a white type of trim on there and then black windows as well. So,
Okay. And then the windows are going to be aluminum or
aluminum clad, yeah.
aluminum clad? Okay.
Yeah, just trying to give it more of a classic feel to it. I think, especially with the green, having it all the same color is a little much. I like the board and bat all the same color when it's like a white or black or off black, but with other colors, it just kind of looks a little bit more muted. So, in my opinion.
Okay. I think that's all my questions.
Okay. Board Member Rolfs?
Oh, yeah. How does the footprint of the new house compare to the proposed house compared to the existing house? I'm just was wondering where it goes into I think the front yard and interior yard setbacks.
Yeah. So actually, let's see if I could find the demo plan or superimpose it here. So basically, we're not moving out of any area that's beyond the setback lines. So like if you look at the demo plan right here, we're actually pushing out along this wall line that's right here and in the back area over here for the addition. On the front, the only place that we're actually pushing out is over here by the existing bedroom for the porch, just to extend the porch beyond that line, so it makes it a full porch rather than a partial porch. So, but yeah, that's it. Let's see if it's a good idea though to put the proposed and the demo on the same plan. I'll
Yeah.
do that just so it's a little bit more clear.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay, so, sorry, another few questions. I noticed there's a different window type. I think it's on the proposed left elevation. There's like 4 of them together. And I was just wondering, like, how did you decide to do a different window type there?
Which one? Or
It's on another sheet. Yeah, it's the proposed left side elevation. It's the one where it has like it's 3 panes. Yeah.
oh, these
Yeah.
ones on top? That's because we have a huge vaulted area in the kitchen. And so we wanted to take advantage of getting more light. That's like their best views right there. So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you get a lot more light that's coming in there into the kitchen area.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. This makes sense. And then why do you have exterior access to the deck of the master bedroom or what? Yeah.
basically so they can get down to the pool area. And so, you can go up to this
pool.
little privacy deck when you're down, below. So.
Okay. And then last question. I noticed there's like a material change for the guardrails at the second story deck. And can you kind of talk me through what drove the design for the materials of the second story deck?
The second story deck, it was just going to be all cable, so like a cable type deck.
Okay. But
So-
where it meets the roof.
That's just so that way the water can shed off of the little wall that's there, because we have to have a little cricket
Yeah.
behind the gable that's coming down. So
Got it.
on
Okay.
that wall.
Okay. That's all my questions. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So now that we're talking about the stairs going up to the porch deck, have you studied any other railing types regarding the style of the house, or this is the solution that the only way that you've seen it?
Well, it's also going to depend on what sort of spiral staircase that allows us to have different things. But we
Okay.
just want to keep it simple. I mean, mainly just something that's, non-obtrusive, almost disappears,
Okay.
on there. So on the inside of the house, we're probably going to do more of a wrought iron type of railing that's on the stairs.
Okay, on the sheet that you are, the render number 1, so like we're seeing a white band between the level 1 and level 2 on the exterior facade, and is that wrapping around, and where does it stop?
Yeah, that's just a trim piece. So
Can you show us on the elevation where it wraps and stops?
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Oops. Okay, so yeah, it wraps around at the second floor. So pretty much wherever we have the same vertical element. So wherever you have the second floor and the first floor that are on the same plane. So that's going to be the wrapping of that particular band.
Can you go
right
to
there.
the other sheet of the elevation? Is it, okay, so the part that it's like graphically wrong blue, that will be white?
Yeah, that would be white there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the material proposed for that attic vent?
The material is just going to be probably a wood, so just something that's going to match the trim of the.
Have you looked at it in the same color? Like, have you studied painting it to the same color of the board and batten instead of white, or?
No, we haven't thought
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
That was a question. And if you can go, actually, this elevation shows the windows that Board Member Rolfe asked, the different types. Can you zoom in on those?
Whoops. Let's see.
You can, yes. So my question is regarding why, like on the left one and the right one, they are very close to the roof, like, so there's not enough like distance between the wall and like where the roof starts, and on the left one as well, I don't know how it wraps, like the thickness of the wall. So is there a specific reason, like interior-wise? Can you locate them, like bring them a little bit
Yeah. So
inside?
interior, let me show you the interior plan here. It mainly had to do with the kitchen layout.
Or the head, like lowering why, like the head height is there? Can it be lowered?
Yeah, I mean, we could do that too. So basically, we have a cabinet. We have a tall cabinet that's here, and that's to mirror the range and the hood that's over on the other side. So that's why there's that gap that's there between the two. But my clients, because this is, like I said, the best view and the best light that they get
understand.
on the whole property.
Okay, I'll leave it to
So,
our comment
yeah.
section.
Well, I have a couple questions.
Yeah, go ahead. My questions are done, so go
Okay,
ahead.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll leave that, the remaining of this. No, no.
okay, got
I
it,
know
got
that
it,
you have
got it.
questions, yeah.
Just really quickly, okay, so can you go to the elevation with the garage door? I just
Oh,
wasn't
sure.
sure what the garage door proposed.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
in the rendering, looked like it kind of blended.
Well, there is no garage door.
Oh, that's why, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're turning it, okay,
Yeah,
got
so
it.
there's no wall.
Got
There's
it.
no. There's
In
no
the rendering, it
finish.
read that way. So
Yeah.
actually, could you go up then to that elevation? It might be helpful
yeah.
as to.
Let's see. Let's see. This one right here. So yeah, so it's blank right there.
Okay,
So it's
gotcha.
blank right
Is there any new landscaping that is going to be proposed with this project?
There will be, just not at this time. Yeah.
But the intention is.
Yeah.
Okay, and then could you show me really quickly, just because with our findings for feedback for the MZEs, where that fence, the wood fence, can you just bring that up in plan
Oh,
and
yeah.
show me?
Let me show you on the
Yeah.
site plan there. Let's see. So it's actually an existing fence
Yeah.
that's there, and so we're basically wanting to just permit the existing fence that's already
And
there.
it's just within a 1 foot difference, okay. And I think that's it, actually.
And that also provides a little privacy for the ADU, so, or the junior ADU.
Yeah, definitely, okay. That's it for
I had
me.
one other question, sorry. The gutters, are you guys looking at doing copper gutters or painted aluminum gutters?
We're going to do gutters that will complement the architecture. I don't know if the copper gutters are going to be, affordable. But
Okay,
yeah,
I was just wondering if you could just
yeah.
give them that
So
thought.
something, yeah. Well, actually, they'll probably match the metal roofing. So whatever the metal roofing color is going to be. So,
Okay.
yeah, which would be a dark gray. So.
Okay. Are we ready for the comments? Yeah, board member? Yeah. Are you
Sure.
ready
Yeah,
for
yeah,
comments? Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, the black windows with the white trim kind of bugs me, but that's maybe just a personal sort of thing. I think it might feel more traditional and authentic to have a white window inside the white trim and let that be your offsetting kind of pop of color. But I can be overruled on that if I'm not in the majority. That white band that wraps kind of the place that you've done the addition, to me that kind of pops out a little. It's a little heavy. I wouldn't mind seeing that white band go the body color of the house, and then use that basically as a datum line to where you were doing the new addition below. Do that in the horizontal siding, and then everything above that band in the board and bat. I think you could make that distinction with materials as opposed to kind of a pop of color. I'd encourage you to study the trim. The heavy crown trim, I think, is a little out of character. I think that if it's kind of a more reduced and then you pick up a little bit more in the apron, it might feel a little bit kind of more of the period. I don't have any issues with the bathroom and kitchen projection into the setbacks. I think you're extending and keeping most of the existing house as it is, and it's just how it was built. So you're not making it any worse, on my opinion. Yeah, those are my comments. I might like to see the gutters in the white trim color as opposed to the dark roof, but I encourage you to study that and kind of take some looks at that.
Okay. Board member Wall.
Okay. Yeah, I think what you're proposing looks a lot better than what's existing. And I agree with everything that Board Member Richards said. And then to add to that, I was wondering, I think the second story deck should be studied more. And then also I know that the owner probably wants access to the pool from there, but I feel like the spiral staircase kind of detracts from the house. So I'm wondering if if they can access it from just through the main house. And then also I know the placement of that deck is, within the roof, but I don't know. I feel like it could be studied some more. And I wanted to bring something up. I don't know if other board members feel this way, but the second story element that faces the front, it's over the covered loggia. And I'm wondering if you think it feels too bulky being over the covered loggia, like if it should be pushed back.
Well, it's already there.
Oh, it's already there.
It's already there.
Oh,
We're
it's already
pushing
there.
back the back of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's already there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just to back up sorry.
Go ahead.
Finish your thought. I had a clarifying question for you on your comment about the deck. And could you just be more clear, sorry, with what you're,
I think it's the access from the second story deck down. I'm just wondering if you even need that, the spiral staircase, if it needs to be there. And then
is it the fact that it's a spiral staircase? Or is it
I think so. But I'm wondering if programmatically, if it really, but that's the owner's decision. But I think if it has to be there, then I would study something that's not a spiral, something that goes with the design of the house more. Yeah.
So the comment is more in regards the stair, not the deck itself. Stair.
Well, for the deck itself, I think it's probably a tricky situation, but part of the guardrail is into the roof. So, but I guess you could study a different location, but it makes sense that it's there at the same time. But I kind of struggle with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I agree with most of the comments that were made, and I am supportive of the front setback and the interior setback modification that has been requested. I think one of my comments is the attic vent color, it being white, I think it exacerbate it like towards the, like the front. The first thing you'll notice from the front elevation is that. I'll recommend the applicant to study, maybe match the color to the board and batten. I understand that it needs to be there.
Well, it's all vaulted back there, so it's not actually functional.
Doesn't need to be there.
It doesn't need to be there. Anyway, if you want it aesthetic-wise to be like design, like just as a detail of the design, I recommend just studying it, and it's your choice as the designer to decide whether it's, and we can look at it in the future meeting to be white or match the board and batten. And I agree with the comment specifically about the white band that board member Richard mentions. I also think that like if it's like blends with the board and batten color, I understand that you were doing that to like break the height of the project, the balconscape, and I think it exacerbated. It's reverse. It's doing the reverse. So I think like the roof of the first story, it's breaking the height of the mass. So, and I also agree with the comment about the window colors. So I think like the white might blends better with the. And I'm not gonna repeat all those comments. The only other thing that I'm okay with the deck, and I think like it's not visible from the public view. I don't think it is. The only thing I would recommend is just that if it stays as part of the project, I think like the railing, it's not as traditional as the proposed house, so if there are other options that works with the spiral staircase that match the style of the house, just recommend studying that. And I think that's all my comments. Go ahead, Board Member.
Okay. I really like this project. I think it's a huge improvement over what's there, and even the second story element that's kind of right now, so overstacked. It feels like the overhang really helps resolve kind of the perceived, stack over. I'm sure there's a way to say that, but from the street. I'm supportive of all the MZEs that are being asked for in terms of the fence height and the other interior setbacks. I'm supportive of the spiral staircase because it's not visible, although I do think maybe studying other styles, could improve the overall design of the house, but I can understand wanting access to the pool from the master bedroom or from the bedroom. And I really love a dark green house. I think it recedes, like darker colors just, they don't stick out as much, but it can be beautiful. There's so many beautiful things you can do with landscaping, and I'm kind of torn on the window colors, and I think it just depends. If you go white windows, then all of a sudden, I agree, like having the white band seems excessive, and maybe even the columns. I was just Googling like dark green houses and different treatments, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe just you could lean on a quick AI to figure out what things are white, what are darker, and kind of find that balance. I don't necessarily need you to go one way or the other, but I think if you do everything white, it can actually look kind of cheap and like too much white is happening. So, but I think it can also be a great pop to break it up. So yeah, I would just encourage you to decide like where you want to use that color choice. But I am supportive of removing it from the band purpose as well. And yeah, overall I'm supportive. Like I said, I think it's going to be a huge improvement over what's there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, then with that, can we open the public comment, please? Or do we need to? Or it's a
no,
concept?
I think we
Yeah.
already did that.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It was a long.
I thought like, I'm like, yeah.
We did the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good
CCTV
there.
has delayed, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, then, with that, I'll start a motion, but I will need the board members' help, and they are here for concept, correct?
Yes, you're here for concept, and again, we're looking for, because this has to return back to the board for its project design approval. But we're looking for comments on the specific interior and front setback modifications. And again,
Yes.
for the board, it's an aesthetic consideration. And then for the minor zoning exception, whether or not that seems like it's something that can be approved at the project design approval hearing. So just support comments for that. And
Okay.
then any other ones that are needed to make the compatibility findings.
Okay, then I move I move to continue the project indefinitely to staff hearing officer or full board, correct?
Yeah, correct. To staff hearing
Hearing officer
officer,
for-
correct, with
yes.
return to the full board. If you would
Okay.
like to clarify that.
I move the project to indefinitely to staff hearing officer and then to the full board. The board support the minor zoning exception requested for the front setback and interior setback. The board in general is supportive of the bulk and scale of the project and the main color selected for the mass of the project, the green color that was selected, as it blends into the surrounding neighborhood. The board appreciate that this project is a great improvement to the neighborhood. The board recommend the applicant to study the color of the windows and the window trims to see what's the optimum option. Is it white or black or mix of those? The board recommends the applicant to study the window head trims as it feels too heavy for the style of architecture. The boards request the applicant to come back with the material and color of the gutter and downspouts. The board is supportive of the proposed deck and recommends the applicant to study the staircase that the access staircase design and railing. I think that concludes my motion. Anything under
Well, I
discussion?
guess second, and then under discussion, did you want to make a comment about the attic vent?
Yes, the board recommends the applicant to study the color of the attic vent to match the green of the board and batten. I have one more comment as a recommendation to the applicant to study the head height of the window type 70, the distance of the head height of the windows to the roof line.
Can you clarify, did you say 70, like 70?
70, yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
have it on their elevation, the window types.
Oh, window type
70.
70. Okay, thank you.
It's called out on elevation, left side elevation. If
Okay.
you want to clarify.
Okay.
The applicant knows.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I was hearing that correctly. And then I did have another question about another motion that you made before we move to continue this.
Okay.
Are you done with comment?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
If the seconder,
Did we make any statement about the setbacks and all the?
yeah, I did
Okay.
at the first,
Perfect. Sorry, I
yes.
missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I would just like clarification on, just because, I have it in here, the board supports a minor zoning exception for interior and front setbacks. I did just want to clarify that the minor zoning exception is only for the fence. And then the interior and front setbacks are for the specific modification. So if I could just request that the vice chair clarify in two separate motions, one for the support for the minor zoning exception, and then another motion specifically for the modifications, that would be helpful for us.
Okay, let's add the motion for the board supports the interior and front setback modification. And just to repeat, the board supports the minor zoning exemption, that request for the fence. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you for
Okay.
the clarification.
And
Much
I have,
appreciated.
actually, I remember, I don't know if I included the white band, horizontal band.
You did not.
Okay. Okay, let's add that. The applicant to study the white horizontal band to match the color of the board and batten. Do I have the seconder approval?
Yeah, I
Okay.
accept all those changes.
Okay, can we get the roll call, please?
Okay, here we go. Vice Chair Moslehi,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
and Board Member Rolfe.
Yes.
And that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And let's see, I think we have to wait,
Oh,
yeah, because we're a bit ahead of time. We have to wait until 4:30, so,
Go to the bathroom.
yeah, Vice Chair Mosley, if you could call a recess until 4:30. That'd be
okay. We will recess until 4:30. we're going to continue the meeting with our item 3, our last item. It's a new item, concept review, 201 Palisades Drive, proposal for a new 259 square foot second story addition with a 46 square foot balcony on an existing single story home with an attached 2-car garage and an existing accessory dwelling unit behind the garage. The proposal also includes 2 new dormers, a new front entry, and new windows and doors, including the ADU. The total proposed 3,260 square feet on a 7,875 square foot lot is 103% of the maximum required floor area ratio. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. A zoning modification to exceed 100% of the maximum required floor area ratio is required and is under purview of the Planning Commission because the lot is located in the coastal zone. Neighborhood compatibility findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval, and project was last seen on September 22, 2025, I believe, for a pre-application consultation.
Yes, and Vice Chair Mosley, we did have staff comment from our case planner here, so I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, Jillian Fennessy, the case planner for this project. Just wanted to provide some staff comments. They are requesting a FAR modification, and with that, there is usually supplemental materials that are required. So they're here today to try and request to waive some materials, including the panoramic photo simulation, story polls, the 20 closest home survey, and the neighborhood workshop. They do provide a street silhouette with their plans, and the FAR mod is a planning commission decision, and I'm here for any questions.
Okay, just a clarification question from the staff. So because this is in the coastal zone, that's why they need a planning commission, and they're not requesting a FAR exception from SFDB.
Yes, that is correct. Yes. So
Sorry, they still do need like a majority, approval from SFDB, so.
My question is,
Yeah.
do we need to go through the FAR exception? Like, there's a findings for that?
So
Do we
no,
need to go through that?
No, you do not. So because we're in Title 28, the Planning Commission makes the findings to grant exceeding 100% of the required floor area ratio, and that's across the coastal zone. So under the board's consideration is waiving the supplemental material, including the story pole, most importantly. And just to clarify is that because we've had updated guidelines, is that our guidelines require when a project exceeds that 100%, that full level story pools are required. So if you could give feedback on waiving those so they don't have to return with those, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let's start the public comment. Have the applicants?
Yes, so there has to be first the applicant presentation, and then we'll hop into public comment.
Okay, we have so many public comments now that I'm
It's been a
just
long
like-
day. It's a long day.
I'm like before and after. Please welcome. Okay, make sure your microphone is on.
Make sure you just press that button. Yep, there you go. The green light's on.
Come on up. And then
Would you please introduce yourselves for our records?
Harold Powell, designer on the project. Sarah's the lead draftsman.
Okay, can you turn on your microphone?
Yes.
There you go.
Hello, Sarah Block, lead drafter, this project. Hey.
So I think that staff, there's a pretty good, made a good representation of what the project entails. It's a small, do we want to look at it? Yep. Oh, we go?
Yes, we are seeing on our screens.
You have
Yes,
control. I'm going to give you control.
we are seeing what you're seeing on your laptop.
So let's go to the elevations. I think that's the important part. And we were here for the preliminary design review, and there were some comments, and we've incorporated their comments that there was a small octagonal window that we removed. Also, the roof plane along the front had more
There were 2
differences
roof planes.
than it has. Now it's a single roof plane. They wanted that. I think that's pretty much the overall. There wasn't much that they asked for. That was, so we've incorporated those suggestions. As you can see, it's minor in scale. It's pulled back from the front of the property. The second-story addition, the view is out over the street, which is, so there's not, it doesn't interfere with any of the neighbors. It doesn't look into anybody's backyard. And they had comments, the first meeting, from the neighbors, positive comments that were introduced into the record. And so I'm not sure what else to say. The color scheme is there. I think that's about the whole story. It's not much of a, it's not much of a project. It's not much of a story.
Okay. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Question to staff. Do we have the previous drawings and then
Yes,
our comments?
Yeah, I can bring them up right now.
That would be
for you.
great.
Yes, thank you.
I'm noticing this isn't the most recent set either.
So these were the comments made on September 22nd of 2025 at the full board meeting for this pre-application. And just for reference, this is PRE case 2025-00120. These are the previous board comments. And then I can also bring up the plans when you're ready. Just let me know.
Okay.
So do you want us to speak to number
Yes,
3?
yes, like
So
if you want to address any of those before we start
Yes,
asking
so-
questions.
So looking at other homes in the neighborhood, which are, and there's so many that completely outscale this small project nearby, you can see these. In fact, the home right next door,
135.
135, you could see the size of the house before they did the addition, which is 85% of FAR. That's right next door. It's lot line to lot line. You can see the scale of it. And then if you just wander around the neighborhood, there are many homes that are much more large in scale than what's being proposed here. It's all single story except for the one small part, which is really tucked in tight and doesn't much appear to be a second story. So that's addressing the neighborhood issue. If you look at also the silhouettes, you can see that it doesn't, it's all in scale with the homes near it. It's only this small area that pops up a bit.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started with the comments. Who want to start?
More questions?
Yes, questions. Yes.
Pardon the interruption.
That's open.
So now that we've wrapped up the applicant presentation, we are now going to hop into public comment.
Okay.
So Vice Chair Mosley, if
I
you
missed the
could.
public comments
Yes,
today.
I know, it's a tough day today. If you could open public comment
Yeah,
for us, thank you.
Let's do that.
Okay, here we go. I'll start with in-person public comment. I did not receive any requests to speak. I did not receive any public correspondence for this particular item. And on checking Zoom, we do not have any attendees or speakers. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Vice Chair Moslehi.
Okay, thank you. Board Member Richards, questions?
Yeah, so I guess let's, if we go to the exterior elevation sheets, the proposed, so that a majority of the addition here, or at least as I understand it, right, you're doing like a shaker siding? Is that, because most of the existing house outside of that front entry piece is horizontal siding, so there's a transition to go into shaker?
Right. Well, yes, that's true. They want, the client, so there's more, I think that that's true. If you look at the second-story addition, it's got the shaker at the top and then siding below, and then the front facade. The idea was to, go with the shingle siding predominant. It's the scale of it is because with the overhang coming down, it's really under 8 feet. It's so. Yeah, it's shingle now. You see there's the existing. Do you see the existing?
Oh, okay, maybe
So
that's shown differently on the existing exterior elevation. Or something.
Yeah. Right.
That's
It is shingles now.
so the
in keeping with
existing,
what
it's
existing's, yeah.
just the garage portion that is that
Is
horizontal
siding,
siding.
right.
Okay. Okay.
There is, it looks like around the side.
And around the
there is
side and in
siding
the
also.
back
It's
there's
kind of a
siding.
combination throughout the house.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, that's the side of the ADU.
But there's along the other side too, and in the back.
And then, so with that proposed front elevation, you are extending the roof out a little bit over?
No,
is
the
that-
roof plane is staying the same. It's only being penetrated by the second-story addition.
So it runs continuously across there?
Right.
Sorry, I was trying to understand it in relation to the existing elevation, but that also may be, if you
Right.
go up a couple of sheets, it looked like it had stepped back.
Yes, there is an existing step there.
Right, that step is gone.
And that was one of the comments from the last meeting.
Right.
was that
They didn't like that.
requested that it be continuous.
They wanted it to be
Gotcha,
continuous,
okay.
so-
Great. So the, kind of going around the proposed house, the door and window styles, at least on this elevation, we have very vertical sort of breakups, right, with those 4 pieces. And then if you go around to the side elevations, it looks like we jump into some much more horizontals and some more square type windows. And then on that left one, it's, very horizontal. Is there kind of a rhyme or reason behind that, or?
Well, I am
I'll let
noticing
Sarah
this
speak
is
to that.
actually an outdated set. We submitted a newer set. What was the date of this one?
That's more of a drafting
has,
snafu with the cat, so.
Yeah, more consistency in terms of style and trim on the
Right.
newer.
Let's see if the staff have access to the newer,
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have it? We have it.
I have it.
We have it. We thought we submitted it, but
There was
there was a bit of a,
There was a bit of a,
bit of a snafu.
well.
Yeah, so what staff received that you're seeing now is that the initial submittal, when we had this previously scheduled and that when it was postponed, we asked for some clarified plans with existing elevations. Existing elevations were provided, but as separate sheets. And so on this plan set here, staff incorporated the previously provided in the case set, in the planning case, the existing elevations. But these proposed drawings that are here now are the most recent set that staff have on file. So if you want to provide
I can
any.
clarify. So when we had this scheduled for 2 weeks ago, the applicant had submitted plans with new windows and doors. And so we asked the applicant if they would postpone it, the project to today so that you guys could review what the design they wanted. In that meantime, they also uploaded another set of plans. And so I think that's where the confusion is coming from. So this is the plans that I received probably Monday, the day of the meeting 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, so there was a more updated set since then that has more consistency.
So we will address the issue of the
Do
discrepancy.
we have access to the recent set now? Or?
Unfortunately, we can't share them because
that's the
we didn't receive them timely enough for the posting with the agenda and the noticing. So the plans that we have in front of us today are the plans that we're stuck with just because we didn't have our deadlines met.
We're going to continue, and hopefully the applicant can ask, clarify the situations that has been changed in their proposal, and we'll see how it goes with the board members. Okay, board member
sorry, I had one more
Richards,
thing.
yeah, go ahead.
So if we can go to the, I'm looking at sheet A 2.2. On that south elevation, the awning over those two high windows,
Yes.
is that just to provide shade, or what's kind of driving that piece and what's supporting it?
What was the point of, do you have something to say on that one? I
Yeah.
think there is a little bit
It's south facing, and so it's just to,
for shade.
you can see it in the, it's, apparently it's not clear in the drafting of this elevation, but if you look at you can see the corbels that are holding up the little roof so that's what it would look like.
Okay.
So it's a south facing.
All right. I think those are all my questions.
Okay, board member Rolfe, questions?
Just a few. How did you decide to add dormers in lieu of more windows or a skylight?
Oh, the dormers were to add a view from inside. You can see out of them rather than skylights, which just look up at the sky. And they also offer ventilation. So it's mostly about light and air. And then, and the reason we're here for the modification is if they had done the addition first, then the ADU wouldn't have counted against FAR, and we would have been below 80%. We would have been at 79. But the client wanted to do the ADU first so they could live in it while they remodel the main house, which is, for their children at some point. So that's why we're in this. Really, we're not, if it had been flipped, we wouldn't even be here. So that's another point of consideration.
Okay. Another question is, how did you decide on the location of the second-story patio?
So that is it's off the master bedroom, and it's really it's the only place where you really could have light and a view out. There was a large tree in the neighbor's front yard to the north, which they subsequently cut down in the last 6 to 8 weeks, which is ironic. But anyway, it gives you morning light, and it looks out over the street, and so you have a bit of a view, and you can go out there, and you're not. So the neighbors complain about a lot of second-story additions in the neighborhood, where people put decks that look into their backyard. That they put if you put the deck on this west or the south, then your deck would look into the neighbor's backyard, and that happens quite often. This way, there's nobody to be affected by you being out on your deck. You're not going to be looking into anyone else's yard.
Right. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay, board member Graffiti, questions?
Yes. Did we pull up, or do we have a way to pull up all of our full comments from the last meeting?
From the pre-case?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Just so
bring
we
them
can kind of run through them, because I
Sure.
know we addressed them in the presentation.
Sure.
It'd be
Give me
good to
one
just
moment.
see. In the meantime, I think I might be crazy here, but I feel like I saw a set of plans where the second shorter garage was being proposed to be the same height as the other. Is that not the case? Nothing to the garage was ever being changed in any plan set? Okay.
No.
Got it. Okay, just wanted to make sure, because I know when it was scheduled a couple weeks ago, I feel like I saw something, but I think I must have misunderstood. Okay, so comment-wise, perfect. Just want to read through these.
Yeah, and I can also bring up the previous plan set if you want as well.
Okay, great. And then for the homes in the neighborhood that similar FAR is over 100%, there was that one page.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. Okay, got it. So we have 2211 Hudson Drive at 170. And then the bottom one is you guys, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we included 135, you know, it's not over 100%, but it's a comparison in terms of scale.
Okay. And that, I think you mentioned it's the neighbor, but that one's not the neighbor.
Hudson?
No, 135
135
Palisades.
is the direct
It's
neighbor.
direct neighbor, it's to the south.
Oh, I thought the direct neighbor was a different home that looked more like a rectangle.
Yeah, that's that one.
That's this one. Very modern.
Are you, I'm not,
I don't,
That's their neighbor to the south, right there.
I don't
And-
think so, actually.
Oh, yes, it is.
is it? Wait,
Isn't it?
No,
maybe there's one in between.
There's a one-story.
One house in between.
Oh, there's one house
Okay,
in
not direct
between.
neighbor.
Right,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we
Similar-
were talking about the same
It is a
house.
home similar
Okay.
in style.
Okay, got it. And, okay, previous comments, we went through those. And then it looks like the max height is 20 feet, 9 inches from the new addition, proposed addition. Okay, just want to confirm that. Okay, I think that's it for my questions.
Okay. Questions for me? I think I don't have, one question only I have, and I'll leave everything else to comments, is that, so the FAR study that we asked for previously, these two houses is the only one that you've done. You haven't done a 20 closest home FAR study?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
And that was part of the,
And there's only, do you know if there's only one house, which is 2211 Hudson, which is a higher FAR, or there are other houses?
I did a pretty extensive study just on my own, researching the
It's
nearest
difficult to
homes.
do.
Can we rate the house in the 20 closest home regarding the FAR? Do you have that information?
No,
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
It's difficult
But
to
it
do
was hard
because
to
it's not public information. So unless the home was, I mean, so some of the homes were done before the FAR requirements, which are much larger in scale.
Okay.
It's not an easy,
Shouldn't that information be available?
Yes,
via
it is
Yeah,
available.
it is
all
public
available.
information. It's on the county assessor's office.
Yes.
We provide instruction on the floor area
if it
handout.
exceeds FAR, that's public information?
No,
No, that's what I mean, so-
the data is available so that you may present that to the board.
Yeah, that's a typical study that we request for projects to study the 20 closest homes for the FAR studies so that we can have a comparison and like see where the proposed house is rated between the 20 close. So that's how we find our findings. So we can discuss that further in our comments. Okay, let's start the comments. I don't have any questions. Go ahead, Board Member Richardson.
Yeah, so I think, having a consistent exterior finish between shingle and horizontal siding, or at least a more deliberate transition between the two, is something that should be considered and maybe studied. I do see that there is a step where the living room steps back from the plane of the front entry and dining, which in that existing elevation seemed to make a lot of sense in that you're kind of treating that front entry with a little bit more specialness with the shingle siding, and then anything above on the second floor kind of got that same treatment. I think that made a lot of sense in keeping the house consistent as you move around that. The doors and windows, I look forward to seeing the changes. There's nothing much else I can say about that that hasn't probably already been said. The awning at that upper window in the bedroom, it feels a little forced and out of context, and I'm wondering if, because they are high windows in the bedroom, if that couldn't, the solar concerns of it being south-facing being picked up with just interior window treatment. And then you wouldn't have to have that extra element that isn't picked up anywhere else on the house. Yeah, those are my comments.
Okay. Board Member Rolls?
Yeah. So I think your proposed it is compatible with what's existing, and I think everything, like the dormer, it complements the style of the house, and then the portico, it defines the entry and then is compatible with the house. My only a comment, and it's actually a question for the board, is the notch for the patio and the roof. Yeah, the notch for the patio on the second floor. The notch kind of bothers me, but at the same time, programmatically, I understand why it needs to be there. So I'm wondering if other board members, I want to know how other board members feel about that too. Thanks.
Comments?
Okay, so I think I'm supportive of the FAR in terms of the size, mass and bulk of the house, because I don't think it's adding like this huge looming mass. I think it's really modestly done. I will say, the example at Hudson is something that wasn't reviewed by the board and was long ago, and then the other example is well under it. But I know that there are examples of homes pushing 100% FAR if you push that bubble out a little bit. So it is a standard thing that we ask for, to look at the 20 closest homes that we typically have people provide. But I do feel, just based on a lot of the houses that we've reviewed in this neighborhood, that I'm comfortable with that number in context and the way that it's done. I agree with a lot of the comments made, especially Board Member Richard's comments about the windows, and looking forward to that in the future. And then even the siding. I know I said this in the last meeting. I still have huge challenges with the way the garage, the RV garage, that was not something our board reviewed. I don't understand why our board didn't review that. I don't think it's something in context with the neighborhood at all. And that is when the horizontal siding was introduced. And so outside of just that element being approved, it also was approved with new exterior siding that now we're reviewing. So it kind of does affect our purview in that way. So for that reason, I think looking at the siding and making sure it's all consistent is important to the cohesion of the home. And because there are different elements throughout with the windows and the rafters and the overhang over the window, like, I think it's just going to be important to make sure it's architecturally cohesive. But as a project and just focused on our purview, I can be supportive of it. But I want to make sure we're also looking at accurate plans too.
Okay, that was all your comments? Okay, I agree with most of the comments that were made, and I am also supportive of the FAR. As mentioned, typically we request the applicant to study the 20 closest home, but as we're aware of the neighborhood, we know that there are larger houses existing, and in general, the proposed project, it's not like changing the Balkan scale of the existing house. And my only comment is about the exterior material. We want to see the consistency, either consistency, or if you decide to transition to materials, we want to see great solutions of how you transit that. But in general, having a cohesive materials will help the project with the style, just to be blends into the neighborhood. I'm fine with the balcony of the notch at the roof. I think it will give, like, program-wise, you're giving a balcony to the bedroom up there, and you're not adding a railing, so that there's a new component to the project. And I think the entry has been redefined. And Yeah, in general, I'm supportive of the project. The only thing is we need to see all the updated drawings, like the proportions of the windows. That's when we decide, all the, like, it's cohesive all around the project regarding the size of the windows. They're horizontal, vertical, so we need to see that next time. And with that, I am ready to make a motion. And just to clarify with staff, so do we need to include?
About the story pole, you could see it would be kind of hard to put a story pole. Do they have to say that we're okay with that, doing the story?
So the findings that the board has to make is continuing this to the planning commission with supportive comments of the design, the aesthetic appropriateness.
Okay.
And comments to return back to this board to make the neighborhood compatibility findings. So any comments to support those findings in the future. And then finally, providing the applicant or making a motion to waive story pole requirements as requested by the applicant and for additional supplemental floor area ratio material, which
Are the
includes.
boards okay with waiving the story poles?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think I'm okay
I'm
with
okay
that.
waiving the 20 closest
Okay.
homes too.
Great, okay.
Okay. I continue the project to the planning commission and coming back to full board agenda with the following comments. That the applicant to study the exterior finish to be either one material or study the transitions to have a cohesive exterior finish. The applicant to come back with updated set to show all the door and windows proposed and their proportions. The applicant to study the awning at the proposed awning at the upper window and find solution either from the interior side or other solutions to remove that one instance awning. And the board in general is supportive of the bulk and scale of the project and finds it's compatible with the neighborhood. The board is supportive of the notch opening at the roof to provide the balcony for the bedroom. And the board is supportive of waiving the required story poles due to the high FAR and also study of FAR of the 20 closest homes. Anything I'm missing?
That's great.
Okay. Do I have under discussion?
Were there any, I guess second and under discussion? How did the board feel about the awning on the second floor? Was that something that anybody else had?
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I
Okay.
put it in the motion to study either from interior side to find a resolution or to remove it. Because it's a one instance. That was your comment, correct? Okay.
Correct, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So second.
yeah, and I just one clarification as well. Ms. Fennessy reminded me that for the FAR supplemental material, that there are a few items that are required, so not only story poles, and as we discussed, the 20 closest home survey, but also the neighborhood workshop, the panoramic photo simulations, and the street silhouette elevation. I believe the applicant provided a partial street silhouette elevation but did not provide panoramic photo simulations.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that in your motion for waiving the story poles on the 20 closest home survey, you're also just simply waiving the required supplemental FAR information.
Yes, let's
Okay.
exclude that. We don't need to see the panoramic or what was the other one?
The neighborhood workshop.
The neighborhood workshop.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you for the clarification, much appreciated.
Okay.
And I think I had the seconder, so.
Oh, I had seconded,
Yeah,
yeah.
so if you can have the roll call, please.
Here we go. Vice Chair Moslehi,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffitti,
Yes.
and Board Member Roll.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Much for your time.
And that was our last item, so if Vice Chair Mosley, if you'd like to close us
Yes.
out.
So we're ready to conclude our meeting for July 27th, Single Family Design Review Board, full board.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.